researching pornography for almost 8 years now, and I think when it comes to body representation in film and filming, pornography and horror has much in common. American professor Linda Williams talked about the frenzy of the visible. So there's something about how you represent the body in horror that can make the viewing experience as somatic and as bodily as much more than any other type of movie. So while I was researching, I came across Kei Fujiwara while watching Tetsu, the Iron Man. I think most people know her from this movie. But she's also, and even if you see her in the movie, you can only know her by her acting, but she done much more in the making of it. She was born in 1967 in a rural area of Japan. In her early 20s, she moved to Tokyo and started working as an actress with Juro Wara, the creator of the situation theater, which is the experimental theater scene in Japan. I think this is the most important thing that happened to her as an artist, because this is something that goes along with her throughout her career. Nowadays, she runs a cat shelter in a mountain, very small village in Japan. She's quite a private person. It's not that easy to find stuff about her. There are only 2 interviews of her that you can find online. One is a very, very touching interview that she gave to Mubi when there was this festival, I think in the United States, that showed Tetsu and her first feature film organ. I think what interests me in her and why I wanted to talk to you about her is because her work is so there's a beauty in the way she portrays violence, in the way she transforms the body into this desired hurt fragmented pieces, and she makes movies in a different way because she doesn't make any distinguish between theater and movie and filmmaking. So I'm going to talk a little bit about chronological works of her, show a small piece of her first movie for you. And I think this first moment of doodling and drawing without thinking is just a way of experiment the body she's talking to in the movies she makes. When we talk about Japanese filmmaking, Japanese art, or Japanese body representations, we have to understand there's a different way of understanding the body existence, and it's way more close to metamorphosis and movement and changes than the way we in the West relate to it. So let me see how I'm supposed to do it. She only has 2 movies that she directed. Okay. Well. So she started working in the Situation Theater, and then she met Shinya Tsukamoto, and she starts to work in this other theater company. More, how do you say when it's not a fixed theater. It's the whole theater moves around. Itinerant, yeah, but they make like you're gonna see here, like this. This is the theater. They make like a monster, and they present their pieces inside of it. So it's very small, very experimental, and relates to the traditional kabuki theater, but not the way kabuki is represented now, but the way it was done in Edo period. They made this piece called The Phantom on Regular Size, and then that's when all started. They had all the props from the piece, and they wanted to make a movie because Shinya Tsukamoto was a kid. When he was 8 years old, his father gave him a camera, and he started making experimental movies. The Phantom of Regular Size and The Adventure of Denchu Koso are two short films. You can see them on YouTube. Everything is on YouTube or Internet Archive. There's some subtitle problems because you have to download it and find the subtitle in English because it's all Japanese spoken, but you can find them. And it was experimentation to Tetsuo. Tetsuo is a story about a man who starts to... Oh, this is The Adventure of Denchu Koso. He starts to have some metal pieces coming out from his body, and he starts like a metamorphosis into a... It's not a cyborg, it's a monster made out of technology and this. Okay. This is why I love her for first, because at first the movie looks like a cyborg 80 movies, experimental. You can see him transforming himself into this robot, and then he comes home and had this first big body change, and his girlfriend kind of look at him and she desires him because he's becoming the robot. And her character is such a it's so different from every other character's Japanese traditional female portrait of a girlfriend in a movie. She's very experimental. She the first time you see her, she's doing a sensual dance, and she starts to have a tentacle. There's all these references to old mythology, and Tetsuo was made by 6 people in her apartment. She did all the prop, she filmed it, like all the scenes the director is on, she's the one filming it. She has no schooling, like filmmaking schooling, everything about her is about intuition and about how the body makes her do the stuff, like how she wants to see stuff in different way that makes you feel while you're seeing it. The drill, phallic drill, was made from a ventilator. Fan. Like everything's very handmade. She uses kitchenware to make all the stuff, even the makeup. And then after doing Tetsu, she came back to the Situation Theater and stayed there for a while. Tetsu was filmed and released in 1989. In 1996, this is the end of the movie. She released Organ, which is very different and very mistakenly called Organic Tetsuo. It's about two policemen. When you see it, you not realize what it's about at first. You have to see it a lot of times because the way she edits it, it's not a linear narrative, and stories like come across one another and you can get lost. But trust me, and I'm gonna go back to her saying, the guy asked her, like, do you think people need to watch your movies? And she said they need to lock in perfectly with someone's desire to watch it, or else watching it has no meaning. It just appears as confusing and grotesque film. Take time to watch her and take time to dig into her filmmaking. So there are two policemen. They are investigating a human organ traffic gang. This human organ traffic gang takes the organs out of people but keep people alive. This was made after Cronenberg Fly. This is made after David Lynch, Tetsuo, all the Japanese theater experimental scenes. And one important influence of her is Anthony Artaud, which is the French poet who first talked about the body without organs, which is more like a unregulated potential in a philosophical way, but it's a potential of the body without the rules of ethical and power structures. She made Organ because she was doing a play about it, so she also once more took theater to filmmaking. This is some of the pictures of it. I want to show you the first scene until the title of it.
命という呪いを受け誕生し殺戮し滅するものとなったのが悪や罪の観念など種の存続のための知恵に過ぎない。だが命は光に向かって帰るという声が
The movie can also be found on Internet Archive for you to watch. It was prohibited in some venues when it was released because it's very violent and very disturbing in some ways. And then this is 96. She only released another movie in 2006, but she started working on it in 1999. So she took almost 10 years working on her second feature. It's not. It's related to organ, but in a way that they're made by the same people in the same kind of not usual filmmaking methods. It's a story about some guy who goes to a village far from the city, and he starts to work in a pig butchery. And all the people who works along with him are very disturbed, and things happen, very violent things happen there. It's divided in 9 chapters. I'm going to show you some pictures of it, and then a clip also. Agora acho que nem ver. There are different cuts from this movie. There's a 90-minute, there's a 140 minutes. There are 2, yeah. She releases. It's still a work that in this 2019 interview of her, she says it's not done yet. That she's still working and she's not satisfied with sound. And she talks very hardly about people who do sound in her movies, which is funny, but it's also, I think it was prohibited in Japan also, and then it came back in a special edition 20 years later. Por que eu não consigo mais?
Porque você tem que selecionar uma que você pode dar para onde está.
The pigs?
Esse aí? Ah, esse é.
Mm-hmm. And the guy who goes to work with the pigs. There are some quotes from her that I just passed through. But she's always very poetic while talking about her work, and sometimes she talks about how she wants to, what she's doing is about, she says something about there's good and evil, and we live along with some rules that regulate how can we act along what is good and evil, and that her desire is to show the incongruence, like how when it doesn't work, like when people who are supposed to regulate do not do their work, or just to make the rupture of this kind of moments. Like this. I think humans, in order to live, can cut those away from existence. If you deny desire, you're not human. The existence of such things causes our mystery too. Desire and slather are inescapable. My fear and sorrow regarding this and my questioning, what are they anyway? That's why I want to portray. I'm going to show you the last scene of Ido. I think the most important thing about her work is to there's something in the way she portrays the bodies, and something in the way that her characters relate to each other, the way violence is portrayed, the way desire is portrayed in her movies, that show us ways of understanding life and body in a less binary way, in a way it's more complex, with multiple interpretations, with things that don't actually respond to cause and effect, or that can show us that body and mind are not separated, that the body is always in movement, it's always related to where it is. So this other understanding of life and body is the most dear and precious thing in her work. Even in the way she creates images and dramaturgy and narratives, even when time is not linear, it makes us think differently and understand other possibilities of things. Okay, I'm gonna fight again with the computer to show you the Ido movie. So it's not the first scene, it's one of the last ones. to find the dance scene from Tetsu, the one of the phallic drill, to show you. But as you warm up, doodling while I was talking, I want to now try to create a body, a creature, that comes along with this experience of non-duality, with this body without organs that she talks about. It can be portrayed alone in the paper, it can be a scene you visualize, it can be a gathering of monsters and different kind of creatures, but I encourage you to draw, and if you all allow, I want you, while you're drawing, I will ask you to do some stuff with your body, like change the hand you're using, look at something different, and stuff like that, just to disorganize the way we use our body to draw. And please remember, please don't be shy, and remember there's no such thing as good or bad drawing. No. And everyone can draw. It's just supposed to be fun. If you need more paper, there's more paper there. There's some pens. There's no red. No red pen. Good. Do anyone need a pen? It's there in the window. Yes. I'm gonna put the Arto piece for you to read. I'll give you about almost 20 minutes to do the drawing, then we can show it and talk a little bit about the experience of drawing, and if you have any questions about the work, it also can be done. I'm gonna put the whole scene, because who's drawing is drawing, who's not drawing too much. Remember, Japan has very strict laws against how sex is portrayed in movies. And you're not supposed to show genitals, so the way they film this scene is very choreographic and very aware of this kind of laws. In her movie Ido, there's a lot of people getting hard-ons and masturbating, and she uses a pipe. Whenever it's supposed to show like a human dick, the person has a black pipe here, so she has fun ways of dealing with censorship. For the ones who are drawing, can you change the hand to your non, the other one, the one you're not using, just for some minutes. You just can see the rest later. There's something interesting in this scene that her character says something like, "I'm not afraid, I can take it." She says something about not being with fear. And in her first feature organ, her character also have the same line. She says the same thing. And in this 2019 interview, the person asked her, like, "Oh, what it means for both your characters say that." And she says something like, "When I first came to Tokyo in my 20s, everyone in theater told me I was like a scared person. No one ever thought I would take it or do it." And then she met Juro Kara and said he was the first one who ever told her she was a brave person, that being vulnerable, feeling things too much are actually sign of a courageous and strong person. And she takes it throughout her life, this thing. And it's very interesting because she's very delicate and very poetic, and her movies are so gore and violent, and the way she's always trying to make us watch it and understand the poetic and meaningful human view on it. It's very interesting to see.